No investor should have to roll their dice on their financial freedom. Listen, I get it. I understand where you're at. I'm a multifamily property owner myself. I know the struggle of keeping on track of the maintenance of your property and dealing with a property manager. When I first started to build my real estate portfolio with my husband, we did a lot of self-managing and we screened tenants. It's a lot of work. You're not sure if the tenant is telling you the truth. You're trying to look at their credit report, their past history for rentals, and you're trying to decide, is this tenant really the right fit for me? And now that rent control is in place and you can't give them a 90-day no-cause notice, it makes it even more impactful on, is this the right tenant for my property? I understand your pain point of the fear of the unknown. Will interest rates go up? What if rent control changes how much you can charge in rents? Everybody has a fear factor when it's related to multifamily or commercial real estate in general. You don't want to buy a property and then lose it to the bank. I get your concern and where you're at, but I also know the financial freedom that commercial real estate can create for you. So I recently had a client that called me, and he has an apartment complex that is built in the 1970s, and he's really done as much as he can to the property. So when he bought it, it had less than ideal tenants in it. He took over the ownership and basically started to do two things. He did value add to the property itself. So he started to upgrade the interiors, and at the same time he started to weed out the less than desirable tenants. So his pool of tenants have gone up. They can afford to pay more rent because they're better tenants. And he's also in a situation now where he's got nicer units, so people are willing to pay more for those. And he's really put this property at the highest level that it can. Again, it was built in the 70s, so now what he's ready to do is sell that and move into something that was built in like the 1990s or 2000, so that it's newer. So I want to know what a client's trying to accomplish and what their main objectives are. When a person calls me, I want to hear what they're trying to do with their portfolio and if I can help them. This property that's behind me, when my client called me out of Chicago, everybody said, you can't do that, that's going to be impossible. I was able to find them the size of the lot that they needed and within a 1-mile radius of the campus area when all of my peers told me it was not possible. So what I like to do is I want to hear my clients' goals and objectives, and I want to figure out if it's realistic and can I help them accomplish that? And then I trench in and make that happen. One thing that I'm passionate about is educating you and helping you understand the process. Many of my clients will use leverage or debt to buy a property or move up, and yet they don't really understand what the lender is asking for or what the lender's requirements are. That's one of the beauties that I bring to the team. I have 23 years of past lending experience, and so when I decided to get into commercial real estate, I realized that was my niche. That was my benefit that I could bring to my clients. In addition to understanding commercial real estate, was also understanding the financial component of it. So you and I both know that now that you've built your portfolio, you've put your blood, sweat, and tears into either single family, duplexes, triplexes, maybe even a 10 or 20 unit apartment complex, but you want to move up in size, value, maybe go into something newer or something that's going to produce better cash flow, but you're thinking, how do I do that and preserve all that cash? That's a 1031 exchange. That's where you're able to sell a property and move all of the profit and proceeds forward into a new replacement property. In a 1031 exchange, you can go from that property to that property. And then you can 1031 exchange from that property into this type of a property, which is really a trophy property. A lot of people are excited about newer complexes because if the property is 15 years or newer, rent control does not apply. So both you and I know as investors, there's some critical pieces. One of it is how much net operating income is that property deriving, because that's what a buyer is going to use to analyze that property and decide how much they're going to pay for your property. So the first thing that I need from you is I need a current rent roll, because I need to see when was the last time you raised rents? How long have your tenants stayed there? Are they transitory? Do they move every 6 to 12 months, or they stay there long term? With rent control now in place, that's one major thing that we have to factor in. Is there any potential to raise rents? How much have you raised rents? When was the last time you raised rents? And then here's where the rubber meets the road. I need your last 3 years of your tax returns. Why? Because I need to dive deep into those numbers, and I need to look at those, and I need to see trends and patterns. I want to see, how's your maintenance and repair? Have you been repairing the property and keeping it in good condition, or have you been putting a Band-Aid on it? And I can pretty much quickly look at those numbers. Hey, if you've been tight on money and you've been putting a Band-Aid on the property, great time to sell it, and there may be a great value add play where we can get top dollar from an investor for that. But I need to know those numbers because I'm on your side. My goal is to get you the top dollar for that property. So for me, I'm really about a long-term relationship with a client. What I want to do is help you understand your portfolio, and that not only starts when you buy and acquire the property, but it continues every single year. As you get your year-end statements from your property manager, I want you to understand those and what that means for your cash flow. A lot of my clients are starting to age, and they want that passive income so they can chase their dreams, go visit their grandkids, travel more. And the only way that they're going to do that is that knowledge and that power of knowing that their portfolio is going to produce the income year after year. When you call me and you say, hey, I'm ready to sell that property, I want you to really understand the numbers and how a buyer is going to look at that, because that's also going to factor in how much your sales price will be, how much you're going to profit out of the property. So if we were to work together, what I would deliver is world-class service to answer your questions, help you understand your portfolio, be able to measure the financial aspects of your components of your portfolio, as well as connect you with my team of valuable experts that have the resources to answer your questions, to help troubleshoot the problems that you may be experiencing. Whether it's a property manager, a CPA, I have a vast network of experienced experts that I can refer you to that'll help put you into the right place in your portfolio. I'm passionate that no investor should have to roll the dice on their financial freedom when it comes to their real estate portfolio.